what is one of the biggest, scariest tech problems that you come across? And easily, phone systems and associated communication services is definitely near the top of that list. We come across many phone frustrations. So customers typically look to us because they're frustrated with dropped calls. They're struggling with more and more people working remotely and are not able to transfer calls to them. They're concerned with that they're losing business due to their antiquated phone system and lack of features. So some of the things like I can't conference even two people. I hate our phones. The mic and speakers never work right. And of course, they're worried about cost. New system cost, monthly cost to fix problems, or just to add a new extension. So who am I, and why should you hear from me today? Well, my name is Mike Rodriguez, and I'm an account manager here at Common Sense Solutions, which was founded in 1993. And we have 750 plus small business clients. We're supporting thousands of users. One of the things that I assist with is VoIP, voice over IP, which we will be getting into. IT infrastructure design, and I've been a virtual CIO to many of our customers, basically taking over that technical chief role. So what are the things we're going to cover today? So the things that we're going to cover today is, well, many of you already know this, but what is VoIP and why you're going to want to consider utilizing it for your phone services. Another one is top reasons why companies are switching to hosted VoIP. What are the benefits of VoIP? And are there savings, and where are those savings located at? And then why Common Sense Solutions picked Star2Star as our VoIP system. So, like I said, many of you may already, this may be kind of a review for you, but we'll go for it for just in case you don't. And so what is VoIP? So VoIP is, as I mentioned, voice over IP, which means your voice is using your internet connection instead of separate phone lines. As we traditionally have seen that over the years, it's typically two different systems that are not integrated. And what you do now is you're able to take advantage of your internet connection as opposed to having to bring in a new a phone system or lines for phone systems specifically. So you can still make traditional phone calls and vice versa, and you can definitely keep your phone numbers. But because you're using the internet, the cost per call is significantly lower because most companies already have internet installed, so it's something that is a normal part of business in this day and age. Before I go into why companies are moving over to voice over IP, I want to talk about a little bit about how companies' work is changing. It's a new world, and things have changed significantly and dramatically over the last several years. So as we know, many companies have spread out and outsourced parts of their organization all over, as we said, all over the world. More and more employees are definitely working from home. We see that here at Common Sense Solutions. It's a thing that happens pretty regularly. And the cell phone is a critical part of the business communication process. And let's be real now, there's an anytime, anywhere expectation for staying in communication. Your customers want answers now many of the times. They don't want to wait to hear back in a few days, and so they want to hear back, relatively quickly. So that's the way the world is changing and the way work is changing in this day and age. So let's go over some of the reasons why they're making the change in the switch over to voice over IP. Well, Ma Bell is ancient history. Copper wires are more than 100 years old at this point. We called it POTS, plain old telephone system, and that you don't see that too much for. It's just not. It's not a solution that many people are using, and it's antiquated, and it's frankly kind of going away. Technology is changing, as I mentioned before. Pretty much everybody has internet, and internet bandwidth is very much available. There are some locations still where it is a challenge to get good internet, and then the price is substantially dropped from where it used to be, and you can get a real good value and price for internet. Companies also want to be able to be more flexible and mobile. You no longer have to make calls to the big phone company which is, as we've seen in the past, I know I've had my troubles with that big phone company. I won't say any names, but and you get to run around and you don't get the right person, and it's just not fun. It actually causes more frustration than anything. Many times you can actually self-administer with these voice over IP phone systems. They're typically less complicated, and nowadays phones are computers. That's the reality. So what about the benefits? What are some of the benefits you gain from putting in a voice over IP solution? I will say this: this is not always the case. So I wanna be clear on this, but many times it lowers monthly phone costs. Many times also lowers support costs. You add features that your older system may not and will usually do not have in place, or if you do have it in place, it takes a minor miracle to make it work, as I've seen with other customers. So you can add features like find me, follow me, and voicemail to email, which are very great features. It allows you to access your phone system from anywhere with multiple devices. And it also has a built-in disaster recovery and business continuity set into it. So where are these savings coming from? So you have lines per location are pulled and bursted, so it requires fewer lines. Many of you, if you're working with some of the older solutions, you have to have line per line. So you have to have as many incoming lines as you have. You have to have that copper run into your building or into your PBX system or whatever you're using. In this case, you don't, because the lines are pulled and bursted, so you could have 4 lines. And what will happen is you can have those 4, and if you ever need to go to 5 or 6, it dynamically allows that to happen. So when customers are calling in, they're not going to get a busy signal, and you're also not going to get a busy signal dialing out. Now, that's a great solution to have in place because you don't want to miss any of those phone calls. You have unlimited local and long distance calling. And many times the moves, adds, and changes can be done, you can self-administer, you can do them yourself. So here's what we did here's what we've seen with the customer. An example of a bill of what they were paying previously, and you'll see that that's more than $700 per month that they were paying for 2 locations, multiple locations. And now what they were able to save with moving to a voice over IP solution. In this case, Star to Star, which we will further discuss as we move along. You can see substantial savings, and that's something that this can afford you. And I will, again, I don't want to try to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. This is the majority of the time. Not every single case is going to be like that. So I just want to make that very abundantly clear. So why did Common Sense Solutions choose Star to Star? Why did we go with Star to Star? What made us pick this solution? Well, in our case, what we really loved or like about Star to Star is that it's a what's called a hybrid solution. So there is actually hardware that does go on your site. There are some other solutions that are purely voice over IP where you only have the phones in your office and there is no hardware whatsoever on premises. So what literally happens is when you move to Star to Star, your phone numbers are moved over to their data center, and so when a call comes through, it gets routed through to this what's called the Star box, and it definitely allows for much better performance. A lot of the complaints early on with voice over IP systems was that you would get choppy phone calls, performance was not very good. In the case of Star to Star, we definitely have seen great performance and great call quality as we've worked with our customers on the phones. So this is one of the reasons why we chose Star to Star. We also have to talk about design and service. They have award-winning design and service, and they win awards for outstanding and unique system architecture, unwavering commitment to reliability, obsessive customer service, and the industry-leading customer retention rate at 99.6%. So we're not losing customers, and the reason we're not losing customers is because it's so important to maintain those relationships, and they will go out of their way to make sure you maintain and stay as a customer. So it's very important and one of their highest things they look to do. What are some other things out there? So the recognition keeps growing with Start to Start. As you can see, all these different awards, especially with the Inc. 500 awards. It's now 5 years running. And you can see some of the other awards that are out there that they have been bestowed. Some of the organizations that Start to Start has worked with. You can see some of your favorite, maybe some of your favorite places that you either shop at or you've eaten at. You got Michael's, if you're into crafts, and some of the different food places out there, KFC, Pizza Hut. One of my favorite places to stop by, Family Dollar. As you can see that they definitely have some great partnerships that they've worked with. So what are some other benefits and features? I want to talk about some of the reasons, again, why we're working with Start to Start and some of the things that we've seen. Like I mentioned before, you can actually get incoming phone numbers without added phone lines. It's a great feature to have, and something that, again, you don't have to worry about adding more copper lines to your business. And also you have time-based call routing. It's nice to be able to set the times that you want things to happen for. So for maybe from 8 to 5 or 7 to 4, you have a phone call that your incoming phone calls will be routed to an extension, maybe to a receptionist, and then maybe from after hours when nobody's in the office, you can have that routed to a voicemail. You can have it routed to maybe someone's cell phone. It's whatever you prefer in that case, but you can set that time-based call routing. One of the great features also is you can have automated attendant menus where someone can call in and dial 1 for sales, 2 for human resources, 3. And I mean, it doesn't matter where that goes back to. That can all go back to the same person, or it could go to different individuals, or it could go to another business if you wanted to, or another location. And that's something that other organizations have taken advantage of. Is if you're sharing space with the company, you can say dial 1 for XYZ company and dial 2 for ABC company, and that's one of the other nice features about having the automated attendant menus. You can also do paging through phones and overhead systems. I will say that there are definitely specific kind of phones that you have to use to make that work especially if you're an organization that's kind of doesn't have a lot of space, and maybe you still want to have the ability to page someone over the phones. We've seen this be effective. I mean, and it also works through overhead systems as well. We can put that in place as well if you'd like that. Something we talked about with people working remotely and some of the home office and virtual extensions, you can literally take and set up one of these phones, if you'd like to do so, in someone's home. There's also the soft phone features, which are something we've taken advantage of as well. And so you can have that set up. Like I mentioned before, virtual extensions. A virtual extension can dial someone's cell phone, can dial someone's home phone, another business, etc., whichever you prefer to do. A great feature that I've definitely benefited from myself personally is a voicemail to email. Nowadays, with our cell phones, if you have an Android or iPhone, you can actually get that voicemail on your cell phone and listen to it maybe while you're somewhere else. Maybe you're not in the office, and so you're able to kind of, again, respond quickly to those who your customers who need your assistance at that time. You can also create customized conference rooms. What I really like about this, it just comes off very professional. You create a conference room, you have somebody, you have them dial in and dial an extension, you set a PIN, and you can actually have that set up where people can call in. It just comes off, maybe just to me, but it just comes off very professional. Looks like, wow, this is a company we want to work with. But something I definitely have seen us use many times as well. You set up voicemail groups where a voicemail that comes in can go to multiple individuals, especially if you have more than one salesperson, estimator, or you want someone is looking for a quote of some sort of proposal. You can get that out to multiple individuals, or that's basically the benefit of having a voicemail group, is it'll be sent out to multiple individuals. And the last one that I'm going to talk about here is Android and iPhone application. And this is something that I have definitely used a lot, and I really like it, and I'm going to show more about it on the next slide, and I'll talk through some of the things that I have really appreciated about it. But it's literally like, it's an application you install on your iPhone or your Android, and it pretty much puts you in the office. It sets your cell phone as another extension in the office. And I've been able to, from that cell phone, pulled up that application, have been able to dial someone in the office very easily. Just dial in, and it says, you know, Mike Android, and it looks like I'm in the office, and it's coming from a extension within the office. One of the other great things that I really like about it too is if you are very concerned about keeping your cell phone private, and you know, maybe you want to be able to keep that ability that people won't necessarily know your cell phone, you can dial, you can outbound call from that cell phone, and it'll come up with the company number. So if you're dialing, you know, one of your customers from that number, it'll look and it'll say, you know, like for us, it'll say Common Sense Solutions, and it'll have the main number instead of my cell phone number. And the other thing I really like about it too is it doesn't use your cell phone minutes. I mean, not that that's as big of a deal as it used to be, but it's nice to know that you can do that now. You can also get to your voicemail if you need to. So those are some of the definite benefits that I like about the StarPhone app. So, you know, finally we're winding down here, and I don't want to take too much more of your time because I'm sure everybody here has much to do. But how do I determine if VoIP is right for me? So what we're willing to do here is we're willing to do a free phone audit, and we're going to do an assessment of your computer network. You know, can it support voice? And many times it does, because you already have a data network in place, and so it's going to run off that backbone. We're also going to do an internet speed and stability testing to make sure that your internet meets the qualifications, and that is one of the cons of voice over IP. You do have to have good internet. And it has to be pretty stable, because that's where all your phones are going to start coming through. So there's a test that we run to make sure that it can cover and it can guarantee what starter seeing is going to happen. And we'll look over your current phone bill, and we'll do a cost analysis of your current phone and internet spend. And of course, we want to make sure that we can meet your requirements. If you have certain requirements that, and everybody does, relative to their business, just making sure that we can meet those requirements and set it up the way you want it set up. So without further ado, does anybody have any questions? And again, as Lisa mentioned, you could chat, you could type the questions in if you'd like, and we can answer those now. Or if you prefer, if you are a little shy and would rather maybe email me or call me or get a hold of me, my name again is Mike Rodriguez, and my direct number is listed there, 630-478-2662. You can email me at miker@cssworks.com, or you can always email info@cssworks.com as well if you want to get any more information about voice over IP and whether it makes sense for your company. So I see no questions so far. I am not going to hold you guys any longer. If you do, you have my information. I know if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to send me an email or give me a phone call.